Ria TV, True FM.
Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into True FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier? The black barrier is to tell Joseph Walker if you don't organize yourself in a grateful manner, we'll give you a better level.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
News Summary of 12. My name is Hansen Delta Present.
Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life that what you see. I live a different life. You know, when I was not president, this life that what I live. You know, with my family and how to call it.
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Roads, connecting roads in this country.
We are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
Always make sure to turn on to our
Ria TV and listening to True FM 96.1.
Pleasant good evening. Welcome to News Desk 45 minutes of news from Liberia and other parts of the world. Today is Thursday, June 26, 2025. My name is Marka Davis, presenting the headlines in the major crackdown on alleged corruption. President Joseph Boakai suspends Christopher Sankolo, Director General of the Liberia Agricultural Commodity Regulatory Authority, and his deputy Chair Gali, bringing the number of senior officials of government suspended to 4 in just 1 week. Court releases several former government officials from the Monrovia Central Prison after hours in detention, including former Foreign Minister Maxwell Kimia. House of Representatives official endorses audit reports from the General Auditing Commission, the GSC, on 12 government institutions. And out of Liberia, 29 children who were taking their school exams in the Central African Republic have been killed in a crash after a nearby explosion caused panic, a hospital director told the BBC. The details of these developments, including the bulletin of news, voices of the newsmakers, sports, are all part of tonight's presentation of News Desk. Let's take a short break to be back.
Ria TV, True FM.
Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into True FM 96.1.
what's the meaning of the black barrier? The black barrier is to tell Joseph Walker if you don't organize yourself in a grateful manner, we'll give you a better level.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
News Summary of 12. My name is Hansen Delta Present.
Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation.
Well, thanks for rejoining us. This news program is powered by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited. Let's now cross over to Emanuel Sensee for the bulletin of news. Good evening.
Good evening, Marka. Good evening, everyone. In a major crackdown on alleged corruption, President Joseph Boakai has suspended Christopher Sankolo, Director General of LACRA, and Chair Gali, the Deputy Director General for Administration and Finance. The president's action, according to an executive mansion release, is in response to serious allegations of financial and administrative improprieties at the Liberia Agricultural Commodity Regulatory Authority. The suspension remained in effect pending the outcome of ongoing investigations by the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission and an audit requested by the president to be conducted by the General Auditing Commission, the statement said. The executive mansion quotes President Bouaka as saying these actions are being taken in the interest of transparency, accountability, and good governance. The Liberian leader further directed the suspension of officials to immediately turn over all institutional properties, assets, and responsibilities to appointed interim officials. Miwa Dansai has been designated as interim director general of LACRA, while Adolphus Fogba will serve as interim deputy director general for administration and finance. The president reaffirms his administration's zero tolerance stance on corruption and reiterated that all public officials will be held to the highest standards of integrity and public service. The latest decision by President Bouaka brings to full the number of senior government officials suspended in just 1 week. Others are MCS's boss James Momo and Bureau of State Enterprises boss Ato Masakwe. The Monrovia City Court has approved former Speaker Funati Kofa and 4 others' bail, bond, and denies state lawyers' exception. Judge Ben Bach ruled that the defendants justified their sureties in connection to the $440,000 United States dollars bond, contrary to state's lawyers' claims. Judge Bacco's June 26 ruling, according to our judicial correspondent, maintained that the properties offered by the defendants are genuine and not indemnity bond, but rather criminal appearance bond to ensure their day-to-day appearance. Judge Bacco's ruling further ordered the clerk to transfer the entire case file to Criminal Court A that has complete jurisdiction over the matter. His decision has set the stage for the defendants to be served with their criminal indictment at Criminal Court A for prosecution. The court has released several former government officials from the Monrovia Central Prison after hours in detention. Former Foreign Minister Maswe Myean, former GSA boss Mirit Bro, former Disaster Management Agency Executive Director Heron Williams, former Deputy Foreign Minister Chairman Sawyer, and others were arrested and jailed on Thursday on allegations of corruption leveled against them by the Asset Recovery Task Force. The arrest and incarceration by court officers happened after the court served their sealed indictment on Thursday. State lawyers' 40 counts indictment, according to RCI judicial correspondent, accused the defendants of collectively causing the government of Liberia to sustain the loss of about 25,054 bags of rice valued about 500,000 United States dollars. The over 29,425 kg bags of rice was donated by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to the government of Liberia through the Farah Corporation Incorporated for victims of disasters in their country. Our judicial correspondent revealed that state lawyers obtained the indictment through several pieces of evidence provided by the asset recovery team headed by Councillor Edwin Martin to the grand jury of the Montserrado County that led to a true bill. The House of Representatives has officially endorsed audit report from the General Auditing Commission on 12 government institutions. This endorsement followed a thorough review and validation by the Joint Committee on Public Accounts, Expenditure and Audit. The decision was made during the House's 13th day sitting on Thursday, June 26, 2025. The audit reviewed include compliance and financial audit of entities such as the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation, the CLSG Rural Electrification Project, the Liberia Opportunities Industrialization Center, and the National Disaster Management Agency. The Liberia Agricultural Commodity Regulatory Authority, LACRA, and partners in the cocoa sector have ended the second of a series of stakeholders section on the European Union Deforestation Regulation, or EUDR. Among other rules, the European Union Deforestation Regulation aims to ensure that the products EU citizens consume do not contribute to deforestation or forest degradation worldwide. Speaking at the opening of the section Thursday in Morovia, Valery Rybov from the European Forest Institute, the organization implementing the EUDR, said the big pillar and spirit of the regulation is to stop deforestation. She revealed that another reason is to ensure sustainability of the cocoa, challenging the stakeholders in the cocoa sector to take the lead in educating cocoa farmers about the regulation. In remarks, suspended LACRA Director General Christopher Sankolo criticized the regulation as creating poverty for the local farmers. He said the European Union did not do well to involve stakeholders from the beginning of the implementation of the EUDR, adding even stakeholders in the sector, including importers, have no idea about the regulations. Sankolo noted that Liberian cocoa farmers who are now hugely engaged in large-scale production will be frustrated because the regulation requires that cocoa planted on deforested land will not be sold on the European market that offer the best price for the product. Well, Philip Tumple, the program director at the Liberia Agricultural Commodity Regulatory Authority, said the main reason for the stakeholders section on Thursday was to develop what they call the cocoa transability system for Liberia. He also provided the background of the European Union Deforestation Regulation, or EUDR. The Liberia Agricultural Commodity Authority and partners, communities hosting Accelerator Liberia's operations are seeing direct educational benefit through the company's international scholarship program. An analysis of the scholarships shows that out of the 99 Liberian recipients, 30% are from Nimba, 27% from Bon, and 17% from Grand Basso counties that host AML's mining site, rail corridor, and port terminal, respectively. The scholarship, established under the Mineral Development Agreement, is designed to uplift youth from affected areas, equipping them with degrees in critical fields like engineering and geology. Many of the students studied abroad in countries such as Kenya, Ghana, and China. Local leaders says the program reflects a positive example of how private sector investment can be leveraged to advance education and opportunity in communities with direct ties to industrial operations. As AML continues its expansion project, community members hope to see even more structured opportunities, including vocational education and scholarship access for underrepresented groups. In an effort to create awareness to enhance the fight against illicit drugs, the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency and partners have ended a day-long observance of International Day Against Drugs and Illicit Trafficking. The program, held in Painesville, brought together students, civil society organizations, government officials, and local and international partners. It was observed under the global theme, "The evidence is clear, invest in prevention," with the slogan, "Break the Cycle, Stop Organized Crime." Speaking at the occasion, LDA Director General Anthony Swa called for a multi-stakeholder approach to tackling illicit drugs in Liberia. According to him, civil society, academia, and the private and public sectors play crucial roles in combating transitional organized crimes. He noted that through awareness, research, and advocacy, stakeholders can reach a wider audience and achieve fruitful results on the various levels. The keynote speaker for this year's observance, Liberia Broadcasting System Director General Eugene Facon, recommended 5 actionable steps to help tackle illicit drugs, trafficking, and abuse in Liberia. Fagon wants the government to provide adequate support to the joint security in securing the nation's borders and checkpoints against the importation and trafficking of harmful substances. The Liberia Annual Conference of the Grace Outreach Ministries Incorporated has commenced its 29th section in Monrovia. This year's edition is being held under the theme, Yes, We Will Make a Difference, inspired by the book of Philippians 2, verse 14 to 16. The conference, which featured a women, men, and youth convention, reports from ministries and clergy, among other activities, has gathered several participants from Mangibi, Grand Bassa, and Montserrat counties. During remarks made at the third day of the ceremony, His Grace and Eminent Archbishop Dr. Ola Debbie B. Jala, founder and general overseer of the Grace Outreach Ministries, called on Liberians to unite in order to foster development. Archbishop Dr. Jala emphasized that it is only through unity that the nation can achieve development, adding that no nation can be developed without the spirit of togetherness. The Grace Outreach Ministries Incorporated founder and general overseer urged Liberians to set aside their differences and collectively work towards developing the country. He highlighted that with the spirit of unity, regardless of political or religious backgrounds, Liberia can make a positive difference. Archbishop Jala further urged Liberians to strive, love, and work to build the nation. The conference is expected to close on Sunday, June 29, 2025 in Kingsville, Monrovia. The Environmental Protection Agency has commenced a 2-day media training in Monrovia. The training brings together journalists from across various media houses, seeks to broaden their minds of journalists on reporting on environmental issues. Giving an overview of the workshop Thursday via Zoom, EPA Executive Director Dr. Emmanuel Yapawulu stressed that the training will focus on 3 thematic areas to include scientific accuracy, narrative storytelling, multimedia skills, and ethical reporting. Dr. Yapawulu termed journalists as watchdogs and catalysts of change in the society, thus challenging them to use their platform in championing issues confronting the citizenry. He at the same time pledged the EPA's commitment to supporting journalists as partners in raising awareness on climate resilience and environmental protection. The Civil Society Consortium of Liberia has thrown its full weight behind a joint statement from 4 opposition political parties calling for the immediate appointment of a special prosecutor to investigate alleged abuse and misconduct in the Capital Hanson case. In a release issued in Monrovia on June 25, 2025, the Democratic Watch Initiative and the Liberia CSO Watch Network, operating under the Civil Society Consortium made up of 5 legally registered organizations, said the allegations of torture, witness tampering, and political persecution cannot be ignored. The group described the cause as a disturbing breakdown of law and due process, pointing to reports of illegal detention, whereas confession, physical and psychological abuse, and attempts to silence witnesses. The named individuals, including Thomas Edridge, Andrew Lawson, Abbott Weir, John Yanti, and Christian Koffer, as victims of a pattern of abuse allegedly carried out by state security. And 29 children who were taking their school exams in the Central African Republic have been killed in a crash after a nearby explosion caused panic, a hospital director told the BBC. The blast on the second day of the high school finals on Wednesday occurred at an electricity transformer, said Abel from the Bungun Community Hospital. The noise of the explosion combined with smoke caused alarm among the almost 6,000 students sitting the baccalaureate at a school in the capital. Well, that's the shape of the news bulletin. Is back to Marka Davis for continuation of the program.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into True FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier? The black barrier is to tell Joseph Walker if you don't organize yourself in a respectful manner, we'll take your plate.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
Some news summary of 12. My name is Hansen there represent.
Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life that what you see. I live a different life. You know, when I was not president, this life that what I live. You know, with my family and
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Roads, connecting roads in this country.
Yeah, we are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
Always make sure to turn on to our
Real TV and listening to truth.
Well, thanks to Emanuel Sensee for bringing us the news bulletin tonight. It is a regular feature here on News Deck, and thanks for joining us. The top stories we are following tonight: in a major crackdown on alleged corruption, President Joseph Boakai suspends Christopher Sankolo, Director General of the Liberia Agricultural Commodity Regulatory Authority, and his deputy Chair Gali, bringing the number of suspended senior officials to 4 in just 1 week. Over a serious rice scandal, several former government officials detained on Thursday have been released to their lawyers, including former Foreign Minister Maxwell Myean and ex-GSA boss Mary Bro. House of Representatives official endorses other reports from the General Auditing Commission, the GSC, on 12 government institutions. And out of Liberia, 29 school children killed in a crush while taking school exams in the Central African Republic, according to the PPC. Let's bring you the first development. In an effort to create awareness to enhance the fight against illicit drugs, the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency and partners have ended a day-long observance of International Day Against Drugs and Illicit Trafficking. The program held in Painesville brought together students, civil society organizations, government officials, and local and international partners. It was observed under the global theme, "The evidence is clear, invest in prevention," with the slogan, "Break the cycle, stop organized harm." Speaking at the occasion, LDA Director General Anthony Saul called for a multi-stakeholder approach to tackling illicit drugs in Liberia.
We have come here to celebrate. The strength of DA, the strength of Myean law enforcement agency, on this strong national organized front depends on you, community members. It depends on you, our international friends. It depends on you, our visitors. Because it is from you. We are not in the community. We live and work actively. And everybody in the community know or we work who are. So it's difficult for us to get information. You are living in the community as one law, as citizens. You are the one who are direct access most of the time to people who are into this criminal activity. And that's really wrong because the complaints of drug and the consequences that this is against us as really it's difficult for us. But for you who live in people and learn landlord, you have some serious information to share with us.
He is the Director General of the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency, Anthony Swart, there speaking at the observance of International Day Against Drugs today in Painesville. Well, the Director General of the Liberia Broadcasting System, Eugene Pagon, served as keynote speaker at the occasion. He recommended 5 actionable steps to help tackle illicit drug trafficking and abuse in Liberia.
It's not just an event, it is a call to arms, not with guns, but with truth, courage, and determination. We are gathered under the theme. The evidence is clear. Invest in prevention. And we are guided by the slogan, break the cycle, stop organized crime. The theme and slogan remind us that this is not the time for complacency. It is the time for clarity of mind, urgency of action, and unity of purpose. We stand today at the intersection of two realities. The progress made so far, the work we envisage, as well as the practical life ahead of us all. Let this submit to us as a nation 5 core recommendations. Joint security support. Number 1. Deploy the armed forces of Liberia to collaborate with the LDEA in securing our borders, our checkpoints, any red zone or corridors, and in properly taking into consideration land and sea. This is about our protection, not militarization. Immediate logistical reinforcement. Number 2, we must invest as a nation in drones, surveillance technology, knowledge scanning and detection devices, secure communication equipment, protective gear, and mobile patrol units. We must fast track national drug policy. Number 4, mass community mobilization. During the campaign, push must go, unquote. People's motion.
He is the Director General of the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency. That's the Liberia Broadcasting System. Eugene Fagon served as the keynote speaker today at the observance of International Day Against Drugs and Illicit Trafficking in Painesville. In another observance carried out in Margibi County, graced by students, community members, and local leaders, the guest of honor, Edwin Hammond, called for a collective fight against illicit drugs. He maintained that if Liberia is to be drug-free, it needs collective fight by all citizens.
Also, working with Liberia drugs enforcement agencies, we have to be creating opportunity for those who are involved in whatever you will all celebrate and not will be. But I also want to remind you that the people that we're talking about, not only don't serve, but also the Liberian people.
Also speaking at the occasion, Margibi County Commander of the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency, Special Agent Alex Flomo, recounted numerous efforts being made by the detachment in the fight against drugs. He said, despite limited support, the LDEA continues to exert all efforts in the fight against drugs.
and sweet value for those that were arrested from last year to 2027 up to this year to 26. So please, if you put a phone recording, try to do it. Because this aspect is very important. Thank you. So that conversation, when the general review, on June 24, to June 26, 2025. That type of jobs, you're very good. I'm not going to go to the how many problems that. And each grade is $45. So if you
Well, he is the head of LDA in Gibi County, Alex Plomo, there speaking. Well, the observance today was followed by the burning of huge quantity of narcotic substances seized during the period under review. With the huge impact of climate change on the world, including Liberia, and the role of journalists in creating awareness for the public, the Liberia or the Environmental Protection Agency has commenced a 2-day media training in Monrovia. The training, bringing together journalists from across various media houses, seeks to broaden the minds of journalists on reporting on environmental issues. Here is the Executive Director of EPA, Dr. Emanuel Yapaulu, addressing the participants.
Scientific directive or government policy can succeed without an informed public. This is where you, our journalists, become indispensable. You are the bridge between science and society. The stories exposed in mining, deforestation, pollution, and the struggles of our communities displaced by climate impacts. Your voice influence policies, inspire communities, and drive action. A single well-told story can save a whole forest, can protect a river, and can defend an entire community. This work is not without challenges. We face misinformation, pressure from powerful interests, and the complexity of translating science into stories that resonate with the public. These are not obstacles to stop you. They are challenges that demand your courage, creativity, and persistence. This training is designed to strengthen you in 4 key areas. 1. Scientific accuracy, knowing the stories in credible data. 2. Narrative storytelling, making environmental issues personal and urgent. 3. Multimedia skills, leveraging tools like videography, and data visualization.
He is the Executive Director of the Liberia, that's the Environmental Protection Agency, Dr. Emmanuel Yapaulu, there addressing media practitioners who are forming part of the 2-day media training on environment today in Monrovia. Well, at this point, let's cross over to Edwin Patafoyan to bring us sports tonight.
Good evening, Marka Davis. Good evening, everyone. The managing director of Lescar Trust Company, Ibrahim Avi Zendenberg, has reaffirmed his unwavering commitment to football development in Liberia. Speaking after being honored by the Liberia Football Association, the LFA, for his contributions to the sports, Zendenberg has extended heartfelt appreciation to President Joseph Boakai and his government for their continued support, particularly towards women's football in Liberia, and also thanks the Liberia Football Association for the working partnership over the years. He specifically acknowledged the recent assistance provided to the Liberian women's national team ahead of their participation in the just ended Waffle tournament, describing it as a timely and encouraging gesture. Mr. Zenebret, whose efforts through this
Ria TV,
has significantly impacted football development in the country, according stakeholders to continue.
As a whole, in football in particular, and more particular in the women football, since back of 1999. It's not from yesterday. And the actual proof of our activity and our success is right behind me. One cannot miss it. Okay, we are very proud to have this wall over here, which describe exactly our connection to sport, our connection to football, and on the top of all, our connection to the county league, which we continuously supporting throughout all these years. Liska and myself connection to sport is unbreakable. And it's not only because I love sport, it
is Liska Trust Company Managing Director there speaking to our reporter in Monrovia. Today's development now, four teams had advanced to the semi-finals of the Liberia Football Association National Third Division Playoff in Zweju City, Grangida County. Western FC of Margibi County will meet their Margibi County neighbor, Susa FC, in the semi-finals, while Golden Dreams FC of Mansorado will be away to the host, Paris FC. Three teams are expected to be promoted to the Second Division League 2025-2026 campaign, while one will be eliminated. But information coming in for Zweju says the four participating teams are threatening to boycott the playoff following irregularities from the Liberia Football Association after previously been informed that four teams were advanced to the second division. Just over 11 hours, they were informed that instead of three teams will now make it to the second division. According to sources, this is due to the ongoing case involving Jubilee FC and the Liberia Football Association before the Court of Arbitration for Sports Cars. And of the home forms, Juventus and Manchester City are clashing home in the FIFA World Cup last March in Group H. Juventus is down 4-1 against Pep Guardiola Manchester City, while Wydad Atlantic AC from Morocco is down to Al from Jordan. The winner from the group are expected to meet the runner-up of Real Madrid and Cyber, who are expected to meet earlier on Friday morning in Atalanta. Well, that's it for the sports.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM. On Ria TV, into True FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier? The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala, if you don't organize yourself in a barefoot manner, we'll keep you later.
You might say what you want to say.
Well, sports is a regular feature here on News That Thanks to Edwin Batafoyan. Well, President Joseph Boakai has arrived in Zweju, Grangida County. The president is in the county to participate in the funeral rites for the late former President Samuel Kedo and former First Lady Nancy Pito, scheduled to happen tomorrow, June 27, in Grangida County. We hope to bring you more details on this development. To this story now, the Liberian National Bar Association has condemned the violent attack on the residents of Councilor Roosevelt Willie, resident Saki George of Criminal Court A, Mansorado County, in the late evening hours. In the late evening hours of Wednesday, June 25, 2025, a group of unidentified individuals armed with machetes and sticks riding motorcycles attempted to forcefully enter the judge's premises. LNBA, through its president, Councilor Bono Obama, the bar is equally concerned, or said the bar is equally concerned about reports from other judges who have received similar threats and experienced attempted intrusions, including anonymous text messages designed to intimidate and obstruct the impartial discharge of their judicial duties. The LMBA condemned these incidents in the strongest possible terms, labeling them as acts of gangsterism that have no place in a civilized and democratic society. Accordingly, the Liberian National Bar Association has called on the Ministry of Justice and all relevant state security in the country to immediately investigate these reports and bring the culprits to justice. The bar also requested the Liberian National Police to provide adequate security and permanent police presence at the residence of Judge Roosevelt Willie and all judges who are similarly targeted. These steps, according to the bar, are necessary to prevent any further attempts that may result in harm to judicial officers or their families in the country. The Liberia Agricultural Commodity Regulatory Authority (LACRA) and partners in the cocoa sector have ended the second of a series of stakeholders section on the European Union Deforestation Regulation or EUDR. Amongst other rules, the European Union Deforestation Regulation aims to ensure that the products EU citizens consume do not contribute to deforestation or forest degradation worldwide. Speaking at the opening of the section on Thursday in Monrovia, Valerie report from the European Forest Institute, the organization implementing the EUDR, said the big payload and spirit of the regulation is to stop deforestation.
And the spirit of India is really to stop deforestation. The current deforestation in Bangladesh is jeopardizing all the efforts in terms of sustainability of the cocoa, even if it's in Nimba, Bong, and in other countries. Okay, because the risk in the reputation of the cocoa coming from Liberia is there. And the third requirement for UDR is the one on the legality. So, of course, the cocoa you're taking.
In remarks, suspended LACRA Director General Christopher Sankolo criticized the regulation as creating poverty for the local farmers. He said the European Union did not do well to involve stakeholders from the beginning of the implementation of the regulation, adding even stakeholders in the sector, including importers, have little or no idea about the regulation.
There are some of our farmers who are heavily engaged in farming, and then because of the current price, because of the current market systems, people are more busy in the cocoa production now than ever before in Liberia. Because I always say the market drives production. If we are in a village, I plant 1 acre of cassava and go to market and I sell 1 acre of cassava and get 10, 20,000. I will increase it from 1 acre to 2 acres or maybe 10 acres. But not only me, my other neighbors will join because they know there's a market. And so the market drives production. And now here we are at this critical juncture with the current market situation. More people are getting involved with farming.
Well, he suspended LACRA Director General Christopher Sankolo there speaking earlier today before the action by President Bouakari was taken. Earlier on, you listened to a representative from the European Forest Institute, Valerie Ribot. They spoke a day-long section on the European Union Deforestation Regulation held in Monrovia today. Finally, the Liberia Annual Conference of the Grace Outreach Ministries Incorporated has commenced its 29th section in Monrovia. This year's edition is being held under the theme, Yes, We Will Make a Difference, inspired by the book of Philippians 2:14-16. The conference, which featured the Women, Men, and Youth Convention, reports from ministers and clergy, among other activities, has gathered several participants from Margibi, Grand Bassa, and Montserrat counties. During remarks made at the third day of the ceremony, His Grace and Eminent Archbishop Dr. Ola Jala, founder and general overseer of Grace Outreach Ministries, called on Liberians to unite in order to foster development. The Grace Outreach Ministries Incorporated founder and general overseer urged Liberians to set aside their differences and collectively work towards developing the country. He highlighted that with the spirit of unity, regardless of political or religious backgrounds, Liberia can make a positive difference. Archbishop Jala further urged citizens to strive, love, and work to build the nation. The conference is expected to climax on Sunday, June 29. In Pinsville, Montserrat County. Well, this is all the time we've got to be with you tonight on News Dex. But before we go, these are the top stories we followed. In a major crackdown on alleged corruption, President Joseph Boakai suspends Christopher Sankolo, Director General of the Liberia Agriculture Commodity Regulatory Authority, and his deputy Che Gali, bringing the number of suspended senior officials to 4 in just 1 week. Over a serious rice scandal, several former government officials detained on Thursday have been released to their lawyers, including former Foreign Minister Maxwell Kimia and ex-GSA boss Mary Bro. House of Representatives officially endorses audit reports from the General Auditing Commission on 12 government institutions. And out of Liberia, 29 school children killed in a crush while taking their school's exam in the Central African Republic, according to the BBC. Many thanks to all of you for your listening. Thanks to those who follow us online on Real TV on Facebook. Thanks to our reporters and all those who helped to make this edition of News Desk a success. Emanuel Sensee read the news bulletin tonight. Erin Butterfly and Brother Post on News Desk. Cooper Sangal Sarah control and coordinated the sounds. Myean Torgbean has been behind the cameras. Thanks to our sponsors, EcoBank Liberia Limited and Orange Liberia. My name is Marka Davis. Good night.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into Truth FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier? The black barrier is to tell Joseph Boakai if you don't organize yourself in a respectful manner, we'll take your data like
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence